సో ఈరోజు మొట్టమొదటిసారి ఒక అమెరికన్ యాక్సెంట్ ఉన్న ఒక అబ్బాయితో ఇంగ్లీష్ మాట్లాడుతున్నా. ఐ హ్యావ్ నెవర్ డన్ దిస్ సర్కట్ ఫిట్ బిఫోర్. Of course I have spoken, but I have never recorded. And I have been waiting for this opportunity where I can communicate. Also, I'll understand what the other person is saying.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a try. And if I make any mistake, it's okay. So tell me about you. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Naren Aleti from Kerala, but I was born in America.
Okay.
My family here mostly lives in India. But my dad went to America for education and also to give me and my sister more opportunities.
Okay.
So now I'm in India to visit family and to have a marriage with my brother. He's getting married, so I'm visiting him.
So I'll try to pose few questions and try to answer them as precisely as possible and as profoundly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you, what kind of difference you find between these two cultures? That American culture and Indian culture, because your father represents both, but now you are totally leaning towards that culture because your upbringing, your schooling, and your accent, everything. Actually, if I look at you, you don't look like an American at all. The body wise, you are absolutely Indian. But the moment you open your mouth, I could see the accent. So tell me the difference between these two cultures.
Well, it's hard for me to really say it because I've been in America so long, so I don't really know much of India. Mostly I just know from my family.
Okay.
But I'll say I'm outside, right? I go outside, I see the shops, and I see the infrastructure here, and it's a lot different. In America, there's no really side streets or side shops or coconut water.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to go inside a store. You have to.
Everything is compartmentalized, articulated.
Yeah.
And well defined, right?
Yeah, exactly. So in India, it's a lot easier to like ask someone to borrow your phone or to do stuff, or like to just ask someone on the sidewalk, like, where is this direction? In America, you won't really. People are a little bit more hesitant.
Okay.
Yeah. As for education and stuff, I haven't gone to an Indian school, so I can't really say that.
Okay.
But in America, it's mostly the same schooling. I would say everyone has the same kind of qualifications.
So cultural differences, food-wise.
Food-wise.
Yeah. Do you like Indian food?
Yeah, of course, because my mom can't really cook American food. Right?
Okay.
My mom is also Indian, so I have to eat home food.
Okay.
But I do go to American restaurants and stuff. So I miss Italian food or Korean food or Chinese food. Over here in India, it's not really the same. In America, we have a lot more cultural diversity, right? So we have a lot more immigrants, and they also bring their own food styles. So you can't really find authentic food
in India.
Yeah, in India as well.
Okay, this is a new thing for me. So he's saying that in India, we'll see Chinese food and we'll see different kinds of food, but there is no authenticity because that culture is not properly established here. But in America, the culture is presented in its unique style. That's what
they'll have their own kind of culture, their own. So there's an Indian community, a Korean community, Chinese community, Greek community, Italian community, and those people, they all have their authentic foods from their authentic family.
Okay.
So we're all living in America.
So what is the major difference between education as a system? Since you have already said that you are not exposed to Indian schools, but at least you might be having some idea.
Yeah. So I know that there's 10 and plus 2 here, and then there's BTech and graduate or master's graduation. For us, it's undergraduate and then post or master's instead of postgraduate.
Okay.
So a 10 plus 2, there's no really 10 here, or there's no 10 in America.
Okay, there is no 10.
There's no plus 2.
It's 11th and 12th, right?
Yeah, it's 11 and 12. So we get to a 12th grade. And then there's no specialization yet. And then once you do your undergraduation, that's where you get specializations. There's no plus 2. There is the option to do a sort of plus 2 or an associate's degree. But that doesn't really give you the same qualifications as undergraduate or a bachelor's degree. So most people just do bachelor's. But that's for advanced tuition or one where you really spend money instead of public schooling.
Okay.
For public schooling, it's pretty much the same. Because, we all need general education or general studies.
So is the life in general stressed or
I would say Indian studies must be much more stressful.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more studying here. There's after school tuition and a lot more clubs here. In America, once you go to school, you can basically just stop. Once the school day is ended, you can just stop. Your homework is not as stressful. You don't have to spend hours doing it, and you don't have to study as hard. But like at the end of the day, right? We all do the same kind of tests, the same, and we have to go to the same kind of job. So we all need to perform the same kind of way.
ఓకే. సో అతను ఏమంటున్నాడంటే ఇండియాలో 24 hours స్కూలింగ్ ఉంటుంది, ఇంటికి వచ్చిన మళ్ళీ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ లేకపోతే ట్యూషన్స్. బట్ ఇన్ అమెరికా ఇట్స్ నాట్ లైక్ దట్. దే ఆర్ క్లియర్లీ డిఫైన్డ్. వెన్ యూ ఆర్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ స్కూల్, యూ ఆర్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్, you can do what's ever you want, right?
Yeah, and you can reach for more schooling, and you can, if you want to achieve really high sets, you have to put in the same amount of effort.
Okay.
But I would say in India, it seems like everyone is always putting in so much effort. But in America, you can be a little bit less and still get the same good results.
So what is the significance of extracurricular activities in America, particularly in schooling?
Okay, well, if you go to clubs or if you do after-school tuitions, the main benefit is that you can get extra credits in college or go to an even more higher college, like Harvard or MIT, right? It's hard to go to MIT without being really into school, without really working hard. But you can get a similar education in a public university or a private university that's not MIT, but you can still get the same kind of job. For that, you wouldn't need to put in as much effort.
Okay.
But in India, it seems like everyone is studying really hard to get into any kind of school.
So apart from education, so what kind of extracurricular activities are creative arts you are exposed to? What are they? Any specific likings you have towards any art and craft?
For me, well, most of my extracurriculars were in computers or graphic design or video design. I really liked. I watch a lot of YouTube.
Okay.
Right, so I watch a lot. So I like seeing the way they edit videos, or how they split up a transition to an ad break, and then later on into separate parts. And now there's chapters in YouTube. So and there's ad-sponsored parts.
Apart from watching, you also do something like that?
Yeah. So
are you pursuing in a professional way or just?
It's just a hobbyist.
It's a hobby.
So that's why I'm in those kinds of extracurriculars, or I'm in activities or groups that are specific to those. But it doesn't really go for, I wouldn't say that's a cultural thing either, because anyone could be interested in anything.
So how American mind thinks about life? What is their definition of life? For example, if you come to India we have very different kind of approach to it. For example, sannyas, spirituality, renunciation, all these things have more significance. Still it has some significance. So in America, so recent times they have exposed to Indian spiritualism. So how they look at life? What is the philosophy of life? How they look at life?
Okay, well, I would say one thing for sure is independence. Here in India, family and what your family says is very important, and to respect the ways of the family and what they tell you. That is super important to Indians. But in America, you are on your own, essentially. Your family is there to help you. Your family is there to provide for you. But once you become able to get your own job, live in your own apartment, there's no sleeping in the same bed, or there's no sharing an apartment for a long period of time. There's, so you can visit your family for 1 month, but staying there for a long time or until you're being married is completely would just be not.
So their minds are like they just want to live on their own.
Yeah, we want to make our own choices, go our own path, and make our own mistakes. So that's mostly.
I like that part. So there is a possibility where they can commit their own mistakes, and in order to learn, right?
Yeah, like our mistakes don't reflect on our family. Our mistakes just reflect on us.
So according to American mind, what is spirituality? Because since it is predominantly Christians, right?
Yeah.
So they follow certain theological aspects of practice. So how they, if at all they speak about spirituality, how they sound?
So mostly Americans are very more private about that. You wouldn't really know if someone's a Christian or Jewish or even a Buddhist, maybe in their own home. But spiritually, you can see it in the news mostly.
Okay.
So you can see like how people act, what kind of laws they prefer, what kind of politician they vote for. It's all very connected to to what those aspects are of the politician you want. That's mostly where you can see Christianity or other faiths being followed.
Okay.
But in the public sphere, or just like as you're visiting friends and stuff, that's not really something you would know. Like you wouldn't invite a friend.
So they don't expose
No.
their spiritual practices. That's what you're saying, right?
No.
Okay.
And philosophically to spirituality, I don't think it's really much connected. You wouldn't.
That's,
your own
I think
philosophy-
what you are saying is a purely personal thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. It is not something to expose to people.
Yeah.
So what about movies? Do you like movies?
Yes, American.
So what kind of genre you like?
Genre. Well, actually, mostly cartoons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I love cartoons.
Yeah.
Because I worked in 2D animation industry for a while, and I am so much fascinated till today. So whatsoever the project Disney brings or Pixar brings, I really like, irrespective of the content they produce, the creative zeal, they present,
Yeah.
and the new colors, new combinations, new characters, new way of diction. Everything is new. Every project brings something new to the existence. So what kind of cartoon films do you really admire?
So one is easy to say is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse because of the animation styles. They used so many different things, and they used 3-frame animation, 2-frame, and 1-frame for some characters, which is definitely hard to put in.
Yeah.
I also liked Avatar,
Okay.
Last Airbender. That's a good one, even though it's a TV show.
Okay.
But movies, yeah, like I mostly watch American movies because Telugu movies, they just aren't part of my vocabulary. Telugu movies have different kinds of impacts, and they have a lot of transitions and a lot of cuts, and you have a lot of zoom-ins and a lot of sound effects. And American movies, it's a little bit more subtle, a little bit less.
Very, very subtle. They are
Yeah.
very professional in a way. I could clearly see that
Yeah, like
professionalism in its true sense. And because whosoever work for a movie, they are all certified professionals. Here, anyone can be part of a movie.
I see.
There is no, only few departments have this certification authority behind. Rest of the people, they just work. While working, they learn. Hence, is the movie industry like a khichdi. So there is no authenticity in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Screenwriters Guild would have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot more structure, because you can just get sued at any time.
I
in
know.
America.
Because
So-
once I met a man in Delhi, so he was writing a script, and he had a bounded script also with him. So for the first time I have seen that is certified by Screenwriters Guild of America. And he said, in India, anyone can write a script and direct a movie. In America, there is a process.
Yeah.
There's a lot of paperwork behind everything, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of. You just can't enter somewhere where you're not allowed to. So, because you can just be liable for anything, and they can just get you for anything.
Yeah.
But also, it protects you, because if someone's not doing what they're supposed to, right, you can just get them, basically, because
So-
you're being protected.
Do you have a political mind or apolitical mind?
I have a political mind, but I
Okay.
prefer to be apolitical everywhere else.
Since you have a political mind, just say one or two statements about American politics. Because since it's a two-part system,
Yes.
there is no much. India, we have hundreds of
Yeah.
parties.
In some
Every
way,
other day, there will be a new party coming up.
in some way, I'm jealous of that, because the bipartisan system of governance has just allowed American policy to just not be changed greatly. Like
Okay.
some other countries, like the EU or India or even the Philippines, they have these elections or these committees that can just change crucial parts of the government in a lot easier way than America, because we just have to, only two people get to really decide.
Yeah.
And they both disagree. So you can't really, it's hard to.
Yeah,
get an
it is
agreement.
not that easy to change policies. That's what it is.
Recently, the Supreme Court got pushed to the Republican side because of the elections of Donald Trump. So we're really in a Republican kind of state of mind for the federal government, at least, because I just prefer Supreme Court policy making. It's a lot easier to do judicial policy making than congressional policy making. But mostly it's very extremist in a way. because the Republican side can just keep pushing their values, and while Democrats keep trying to meddle the middle, it just wouldn't. It's hard to really, yeah. So for me, I just feel like I'm losing, but for Republicans, they're really winning.
Okay. So now, to conclude, I'll ask a couple of questions. Just give me one statement answers. Okay. So according to you, what is love?
Love is hardship.
Love is?
Hardship.
Hardship, okay. What is life according to you?
Life is what you make of it.
Okay. What is the significance of relationship in life? What kind of vital role it plays? Is it necessary, or it is not necessary, or it is unnecessary? What is it? How, the way you look at it?
You have to be your own person.
Okay. What if internet disappears from the face of earth? How you look at your life?
Everything will be okay.
Everything will be okay. And what about your opinion about marriage?
It's a tradition.
It's a tradition, okay. So you are going to follow the tradition.
It's a tradition. You don't have to follow some.
I mean to say, you can break the tradition.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are in the tradition anyway.
Okay, maybe it's a.
There is a possibility to break anything.
Yeah.
Whether it's a bone or tradition, you can keep it intact also.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and define friendship. Have you, because thousands of people we mingle with, but once in a while we feel that he is our true friend.
Okay.
So what exactly happens between two to define that particular relationship as true friendship? What is it?
Well, this one will be a little bit longer. So
no problem.
Friendship is basically just circumstance, right? You can't be a friend with some stranger, but you'll be a friend with someone you're studying with or something like that. To make a true friend, though, friendship is hardship.
Again,
it's also love.
It's like love.
Yes.
So, do you have any ambitions? Do you have any goal in particular to crack?
Independence.
It is already there.
It's an American value.
Yeah. So, you want to just retain it, keep it safe. That's
Yeah.
Otherwise, professionally, what is your ambition?
Well, make a lot of money.
But
But just to have a job that I love, have a job that I'm willing to go every day, 9 to 5, 24/7, go in overtime, and just keep loving it later.
Okay.
That's the most important thing.
So, money, you respect money, it seems, right?
It's what keeps you independent.
That's correct. And last question. Any English song you like so that I'll listen later?
I have a lot of opportunities here.
One.
Okay. Dropout by Break-Ins.
Dropout by
Break-Ins.
Break-Ins. So I'll definitely listen to it because I play violin.
Oh, no, okay.
And so
that's
that
a hard one.
I understand music. Though since music, neither it is Western or Indian, it is all about the presentation. For example, Indian. This is Indian. The same notes, if there is no gamaka movement, it is Western.
That is truly amazing. Yeah.
So thank you so much. This is the first time I'm in real conversation, at least for 20 minutes, without using mother tongue. I really enjoyed.
I didn't even feel it that way. It felt completely natural.
Yeah, because I studied completely Telugu medium. So while I was in village, I have no clue what English is. Only to pass in examination, I used to study 60 or 50% marks. Anyway you get. But after coming to Hyderabad, I have realized how important it is to communicate in the language which is universally have some value. Then my own, I developed little bit English language speaking skills also.
Very impressive. Yeah.
Thank
that
you, sir.
kind of self-studying.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.